Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to take a closer look at Nvidia. There are three topics I want to take a closer look at. First, we're going to look at a recent acquisition the company just made of a very small AI company. Second, there are some topics that I missed about a week ago and kind of a big customer of Nvidia that I believe could be very bullish for the company. And finally, we do have some updates to the Chinese market that I also want to share. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
First, I want to take a closer look at this recent acquisition that Nvidia just made. So we see this tweet here, X, by the CEO of a company called BRev Dev, and they mentioned that they have been acquired by Nvidia. And this is pretty interesting because we really haven't heard much from Nvidia's presentation, most likely because it's such a small company. And usually when it's something this small, we really don't hear anything too much about it. But I wanted to dig deep into who BRev Dev was. So BRev Dev seems to be kind of an AI company that focuses in more kind of the AI developer market. So it tells you use BRev Dev to find a GPU and get it configured to fine tune or train your model. So here it says, welcome to BRev Dev. BRev Dev is an AI ML development platform that allows you to run, build, train, and deploy ML models on the cloud. BRev allows you to start small on a CPU instance and effortlessly scale to larger GPU clusters for any workloads. And then they kind of answer why you should choose this company. The first is this is a company built for developers. Second, it is cost effective as they aggregate multiple cloud providers to find the right type of GPU for the best price possible. And powerful, BRev allows you to run any code on your GPU instance. You can use BRev to train and deploy machine learning models on the cloud. So obviously it's a lot of information here, but just if you can kind of see the top level of this, this is a platform that helps developers find GPUs across the clouding market. So right here we can see that Nvidia is acquiring this company is helping developers be able to find GPU instances a lot easier. So it's kind of reducing that hurdle or brick wall that it might have for a developer to kind of end up using an Nvidia GPU. It's making it a lot easier for that transaction, and it's also finding a way, it seems, to kind of bring customers to their cloud server provider partners, right? So I think this is a great move. It's not something that would, in my opinion, drive the stock price up or anything that would be completely revolutionary, but it's a great move for Nvidia to be able to eliminate some of the hurdles that maybe developers need to go, especially when kind of scaling or creating their overall machine learning or AI projects. So it's a great way to bring more developers to the platforms. It's also a great way to bring more customers to their cloud server providers. And if you're bringing more customers to their cloud server providers, it's also gonna kind of give an incentive for those cloud server providers to buy more GPUs. So I think overall, this was a great move for Nvidia, and congratulations to the BRev Dev team. Now, before I go any further, I do want to say thank you all for the support of the ebook for the semiconductor market. I created this semiconductor ebook that has over 50 plus semiconductor companies out right now. It gives you a nice overview and 15 questions so you can increase your knowledge about that selected company. The great thing is I am updating it in the upcoming weeks, and if you do purchase now, you will also get the updated version. Great thing is right now the book is on sale, so make sure to check that out at moresemiinvesting.com. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this episode that one thing I missed a few days ago was something that had to deal with a big customer of Nvidia. And for those that know Nvidia, you know that their biggest cloud server customers are cloud server providers, being Microsoft, being Meta, or being some of the other players. Well, reportedly, Morgan Stanley is forecasting that Microsoft plans to almost double its capital expenditure from $32 billion in fiscal year of 2023 to roughly $63 billion in fiscal year of 2025. So some might be wondering, Jose, why is this any important right now, fiscal year of 2025? That's not so many months ahead from now, right? We're still in calendar year of 2024. Well, Microsoft does have a little bit of a difference between their calendar year and their fiscal year. So Microsoft on July 30th is reporting its fourth quarter of fiscal year of 2024. So fiscal year of 2025 is starting with, it should be happening already, and we will have earnings for that within the next 3 months. But based on this analyst, right, they're expected to increase their capex dramatically for 2025. So one thing that investors should definitely keep a closer eye out is during this Microsoft fourth quarter earnings, Microsoft is most likely going to give us an update of what they're planning to do with capital expenditure. And if this analyst is correct, and they mentioned that, hey, look, we're looking to do more of around $63 billion this upcoming year, then that would be some amazing, amazing news for Nvidia, because more than likely, most of that capex is going to go in things like data centers, in forms of GPUs, in forms of networking solutions, software, and other types of IT structure that Nvidia is kind of pretty much a leader in. So this is going to be one of my favorite earnings call to listen to, as I'm hoping this analyst is right. And if this analyst is right, we're definitely going to see some great traction from Nvidia. Now, just to kind of take a closer look at how capital expenditure has been for Microsoft in the trailing 12 months, is roughly $40 billion. So from $40 billion in the trailing 12 months, it's expected to jump to over $60 billion. That's a huge, huge number. But I wouldn't be surprised, because we are hearing these crazy numbers of Blackwell GPU orders. So if you've been watching this channel and these past episodes, we know that analysts are projecting that Nvidia is going to sell a lot of Blackwell, Grace Blackwell 200 servers, the NVL32 and the NVL36 and the NVL72. And I think the only way we can get confirmation, or some form of confirmation, that this is true is in the upcoming earnings. If we see a huge growth in capital expenditure, then that should be the green light that all these analysts are right and Nvidia is gonna destroy earnings. Now, the final thing I want to take a closer look at is there are reports that the H20 continues to see huge momentum in the second half of 2024. So for those that are not familiar, the H20 is the AI accelerator that Nvidia has created for the Chinese market. Because of regulations here in the United States, Nvidia cannot send their top-of-the-line chip to China for national security reasons. But they have created a weaker down version, the H20. Now, many analysts, even myself at the beginning, thought that, hey, look, the H20 wasn't going to do that great. But in the past few weeks, we've actually heard that they can do roughly $12 billion in revenue from the H20, as the demand is really picking up from the Chinese space. Now, it seems like there is even more momentum here in the H20. One of the main reasons is the United States elections coming pretty soon. So many, I guess, Chinese companies are fearing that, hey, look, regulations might get even more tighter, and maybe the H20 might get regulated as well in the future. So they're trying to order as much as possible. So right now, this could be a nice tailwind for Nvidia, as many were not expecting much from the Chinese market in the data center space. So I think that's all I have for you guys for Nvidia today. A lot of great news in my opinion. Obviously, the stock price is going to be very, very volatile. In the long term, I'm very bullish, and I definitely could see that if we get those huge talks of capital expenditure increasing from all these data center companies, then Nvidia is gonna have an amazing earnings.